that one was tough. Visually, it's deceptively cold right now. Recently, the snow has started to really melt away, and wow, the bird song. Anyways, the snow and the spring rain have come together to fuel the rivers. They're powerful, they're frigid. It's honestly borderline intimidating to be at the bottom of it all, but it's so impressive and stunning, and it makes it one of my favorite times of year to do these cold plunges. Sun is just starting to peek over the mountain now. What a way to start the day. Today is big. We finished all the 2x4s for the most part. There's like little tiny pieces here and there that we might have to add in for nailers, but we are starting the shiplap.
Also, it might just be the flex of that 2x4 because it's like 38 perfectly up here.
After all this time, the talk, the planning, all of the phases of major demolition and cleanup, it was pretty surreal to actually be installing these boards, to start seeing right in front of me the shiplap that was once just an idea. Not that long ago, this basement was wet, moldy, dark, had many rooms that didn't make sense, and some areas were left to rot. And days like this really feels like the hard work is paying off. So we finished up the little section of shiplap that we're going to do for today, because the idea is that we'll go all the way through, we'll paint it the color we're going to paint it, let everything dry, and be able to get the washer and dryer up on the platform that we built for them so we can keep using it. And then I think for the rest we'll probably... Okay, she wants to go down. Yeah, and then I think for the rest of the installation we'll get that up before we keep painting, but I'm so eager to see what the paint looks like going up on the shiplap right now. When I used this paint, which is linen white, we used it in our bedroom too. It's a really nice, creamy, bright color, helping light up places like the basement where we do get a fair amount of daylight, but yeah, I'll just keep things really bright, and I'll talk more about that another time. What I did in my office when I was doing the shiplap, covering it in the paint, I remember having to coat it multiple times, and I could still see the grain of the shiplap, the knots, all the little designs in it. And then down here, when I started putting on the coat, just the first coat, I was noticing that everything was getting covered up right away. And we want to maintain that character. We want it to be a little bit see-through. But I guess when we did the bedroom, we got a one coat guarantee kind of paint to move it along, and it's got primer in it. Luckily, this is just a really small section that won't be seen too much. The washer and dryer will be on this platform up there, and it won't be too exposed, but we'll definitely have to get a new fixed can of paint for the rest of it. Other than that, I love this color, I really do, and I'm just finishing up painting this platform, just the parts that will be seen. I think this is going to end up veneered in barn board, so I'm not going to be too perfect with it, but starting to get the idea of what it will look like down here.
I might be able to,
Lift that by yourself?
well, I'm just thinking like, I think I could grab onto this lift standing on the platform and probably lift my end.
Why does yours look different than mine? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Ooh.
Let me take the straps off.
Okay.
Not so bad.
All right.
How about this?
Today is going to be so fun in the Apothecary. I'm whipping up something that I have not done for you guys in quite some time. Just with the A-frame renovation, sometimes I have to dial it back in here for a little bit, but now I feel like with the spring and the energy, I'm so excited to be reintroducing this to you, to make it available to you, because honestly, I haven't stopped making it here. Kyle and I both love it. And I also have a very special ingredient today, and that is 2-month-long slow infused potent arnica oil. If you guys don't know, arnica is an amazing herb. It's so powerful. Aches, pains, muscles, arthritis, sprains, bruises. This is such a good one. Also, new bottle, reformulated, new label, so that's exciting. I want to take you through this process, whether it's to inspire you to make your own, or if you'd like to purchase one of these, the link is always in my description to my shop. But let's dive in. It smells so good in here. And so what I'm crafting is my medicinal Nirvana bath salt blend, using that arnica I mentioned that is fantastic for aches, swelling, recovery, and then Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate, which amplifies the effects of the arnica, diminishing tension and soreness while also reducing inflammation. And when dissolved into warm bath water, it works to draw out toxins and improve circulation. Great for tired feet or hands or shoulders. This pink Himalayan sea salt is also rich in minerals, boosting all of those previous benefits. The herbal botanical mix contains lavender buds, rose petals, and white sage to purify, mellow, and deeply relax your body and mind. Essential oils of lavender and Roman chamomile provide aromatherapeutic qualities to calm a racing mind and ease insomnia. Truly, I see it as an intentional sensory soak to remedy the modern mind and overworked body, a tool to help you slip into a state of genuine bliss. I'm in with the lime tree. Okay, so I think I got 11 or 12 of these, not bad, and they look really beautiful. I love this container so much. I think it's going to hold the label beautifully. Here is where we keep the new labels. You can see this office apothecary space is becoming a little bit cramped. My dream and goal is that when the A-frame is done being renovated inside and outside, that I will build a large, very large, hopefully, apothecary outside somewhere on the property here, and that would be such a game changer. All right, 8-ounce jars are here, and let's do a final smell test. And the smell does not disappoint. It's very floral, a little earthy, without being too overpowering. Every year, as I learn more and I study more in the realm of herbalism, I'm able to improve my formulas a little bit more, make them more effective, more enjoyable, more experiential. And yeah, I can't wait for you guys to try the new ones.
Can you hold this in? No more installation. Well, no, we want to know, this was 18 and a half, so it's
This was like
3 and a half.
Okay, so next steps for the basement is moving on to the barn board, which I've done at the cabin, I've done in the bedroom, I think other places around the house, And what the process is starting with these boards that we've rescued from different barns around here. And I'm going to be sanding them with different grits to start revealing what's underneath any of the old paint. Always really fun because every board, you never know what it's going to end up looking like, what's going to come out when you start sanding. And that's from the colors to the character. So we're about to dive in. And with so much eagerness to begin, I grabbed the necessary supplies from the tool shed and had everything set up and ready to go, but had totally forgotten that sometime along the renovation journey, probably on the bedroom makeover, our orbital sander had broken and kept failing on contact. So I switched over to the palm sander, which I hadn't yet got to use, and got back to work. I got through 8 so far, 4 left for what I'd like to get done by the end of the day, kind of losing daylight, and then I'll have 12 boards that are ready to go up on the walls. I'm a little winded. I always forget how labor intensive this can be because this is pretty heavy and some of these boards are really stubborn, but man, is it worth it. They're coming out really nice. And our plan was that while I work on sanding the boards, Kyle would work on replacing an old door that he had put on his office to make one completely custom that would be more soundproof and work better with the overall new plan that we had for the barn board installation. We had also decided that we wanted to go with beveled shiplap for the rest of the walls, so we put that on pause for a minute and went all in on the barn board. And I'll just seal you in there.
All right.
We'll see ya. Last one. Woo! All right, today I'm doing chores and organizing the closet, cleaning the bedroom, and I also just got an exciting delivery that I've been waiting for, so looking forward to, and it did not disappoint. These are actually 2 of the pieces, and I'm sure you can see just the feel and the fit is so perfect. Genuinely, it's been a very long time since I've been this impressed with clothes. The brand is called Conscious Clothing, and I've partnered with them today to tell you a little bit about what makes them so special. Conscious Clothing brings organic comfort that can be worn with ease throughout many seasons. These are natural, high-quality fibers that will last a lifetime without harming the earth or your body. We're talking linen, organic cotton, and hemp-based pieces, so they're always free of PFAs and never have toxic dyes. Each item is slowly and ethically made in Michigan by a small team of creatives with fabric always sourced from fair trade suppliers. It's pretty crazy to think, but less than 2% of all clothes are made in the US. So Conscious Clothing is proud to manufacture in-house in America. And right now you guys can get 20% off site-wide using my code AllieMarie to celebrate Earth Month in slow fashion. Cannot recommend them enough, and I'll put that link in the description. If all goes well tonight, this will be the start of a new chapter, a passion project that I want to invest time into, to learn about, to be more self-reliant, producing more of what we consume here. And I've got everything I need on this table, minus trees, and you can see I have plenty behind me here. Currently we have a little over 20 acres here, and these woods right next to the A-frame, we would like an acre or 2 for farming, both in regards to animals and to crops. And since we are slowly starting that clearing process, I will be taking the trees from there. I need 2 fresh, fungi-free trees, 1 hemlock, 1 beech, and if all goes well, in about 6 to 12 months, I will have mushrooms. Mycelium, birch dowels, 1 lion's mane, 1 reishi. Would love to have oyster, shiitake, more of the culinary, but going to start with some medicinal ones and do some inoculating tonight. And just as I had started sectioning the log, I got a call from Kyle. So he and his friend had canoed down the river, parked one truck at the start and one at the finish point, and accidentally forgot the keys to that last truck, leaving them stranded at the river until I could go get the keys from the first truck. All of that said, I was cut off early that night from my project, got home after dark, and told him that for me saving them, he could help me finish preparing the logs. So I guess it all worked out. Initially, I thought I was going to Lincoln log style these into kind of a zigzag fence, but since I'm starting with kind of a smaller test round here, I'm going to stack it like this. The bottom logs you will not inoculate. You don't want any contact with the soil on the ones that you're putting the plugs into. So these two will get the plugs, and then two more I'm thinking on top like this. And this will be the reishi section, and I will go repeat with the beach over there. The rain. I might have to take a break. We'll see. It ended up raining for about an hour, and now everything's pretty saturated out here, and the logs, you know, you want them to be wet when they have the plugs in them so that it creates this ideal environment for them to thrive in. That said, I'm a little nervous that the beeswax that I'm going to seal the plugs with might not adhere as well to the log, but I guess we'll find out right now. With these logs, I used a 3/8 drill bit. You aim for about 2 inches deep, 3 to 4 inches apart, with rows 4 to 6 inches apart. And these rows will go the full length of the logs, but you don't want the end plugs to be under an inch from the end of the log. And ideally, you get them in contact with the cambium layer just below the outer bark. Each of these measures that you take helps the mycelium, which is the vegetative state of the mushroom, spawn and establish themselves better and eventually fruit, aka mushrooms. I told you guys that I chose reishi and lion's mane for this round, so I'll quickly break down a little bit about each. Reishi I think of as an adaptogen, helps the body cope with stress, supports the immune system, plays into relaxation, better sleep quality, also anti-inflammatory. And then lion's mane I think of a little bit more as a nootropic. Things like cognitive function, memory, focus. The thing is, I've never come across lion's mane out in the wild yet, so I am very eager to see how this specific mushroom performs. Both are done. I've got the beech with the lion's mane, the hemlock with the reishi behind me. Next time, especially as I go into the culinary ones, I'd like to do oak. That's a great hardwood for this. Everything's capped with the beeswax, the location feels right, the sun isn't too much, I think they'll stay nice and moist and still get rain. I think this definitely teaches you patience and the value of it. It says actually in studying further it can take up to 2 years. I don't know, we'll see. It's all new, it's an experiment. We got a new season, a new project, and my goal, if all goes well, would really to kind of create a mushroom forest in here where I can harvest pretty much everything I would need right on our land. I'll tell you though, all of the hauling around and the drilling and time, I'm pretty sleepy now. What? Where did you come from? Oh, we got a surprise visitor. Hi, Mal. Hi, you probably want to go on a walk, huh? You want to go on a walk? Aw, it's a sweet guy. That's a sweet guy. These are my mushroom logs now. You always know when something's new. You really do. You really do. Very rainy today. We've definitely been getting that April showers bring May flowers weather patterns here, but luckily the past couple days I was outside continuing to sand the barn board so that we'd be prepped and ready to go today. So just wrapping up a couple of orders in the Apothecary, I'm going to head down and we'll begin putting that barn board on the wall, see how it comes together and what we can get done today. Even though I've worked with barn board many times now, it always feels new and the anticipation builds along the way for that final reveal of how all of the different colors from each board will come together to form a palette of rich browns and muted grays that will tie in with all the other board features that we've incorporated into the A-frame. And once the boards are sanded, the installation process feels like a real breeze in comparison. You kind of get that instant gratification through a couple quick cuts and nails and you're good to go. I know that there is a fluctuating trend to have barn board in your house, especially the all gray, but I feel like this is very different from that. We've got attachment and story behind it from rescuing them on site and then transforming them here, and I do feel like they have their own unique look compared to what I see out there commercially. And just like how you hang photos on the walls to bring back memories, having these boards on our walls will always evoke something in me, whether it takes me back to the barns or the sheds, the days outside working on getting the house closer to completion. It's the little things like that that put a smile on my face and make all of this hard work feel worth it. We're on the last tiny little section and super low on boards left, never mind ones that could work. So if all goes perfectly right now, we'll get this wall done today in just a few minutes. And if not, I'm not sure what to do because it wouldn't really be ideal to sand in this, but feeling optimistic right now. We'll see.
The thing that sucks, this is the widest board and then we're coming off the skinniest board. This just isn't right. Like, I don't like that this board's skinny either. Never mind going from the skinniest one on the wall to the biggest one on the wall. It just is foolish.
It didn't work. It's just a little too wonky, it's crooked, it's not laying flush, and it's way thicker than the adjacent board, so here we are, going to try to find that one last piece that will work and set up somewhere where it's not raining too much and get it sanded and installed. Blends right in. the barn board office. And then tonight, if this gets painted black, it'll be coming together.
But I mean, this is crazy. And I love that it's completely custom. The wall, everything, it built from scratch.
So that's one wall, pretty much completely done now over on this section for the barn board. It's got the seamless door, and we just have one more trim piece to do across the top to cover up the wires. We've got the nailer in place for it. We just need to let the boards dry out for that, but pretty much get the gist of it. I think this is our biggest, most exposed wall of barn board. And we were just talking about things like how Kyle wanted to hang a whiteboard and maybe shelves, and how we might not do that because just leaving this open as it is kind of its own art in its own way that will come in the decorating phase of the basement, which it's fun to think about now because with every single thing that we get done, we're closer and closer. Man, it feels so good. And next week, the goal is to get the shiplap up, hopefully painted too, but definitely want to get it installed. And at that point, I think that'll be all the walls will be done.